Once your session start, I'll be do that. So, hi everyone. This is Keshav Reddy, and welcome to the session on repatriation of funds from India to US. This is organized by TTA, that is the Telangana American Telugu Association, and we are hosting this program from the Seattle chapter. And before we begin the session, I would like to have a few words about what we do. So Telangana American Telugu Association is a socio-cultural and non-profit organization founded by Dr. Paila Mallareddy Garu with a mission to promote, preserve our culture and also give something back to the community that we are living in. And we have an advisory council, and we have our president Vamshi Reddy Garu, who has been working relentlessly and supporting all TTS chapters across US and India to conduct various events and services for this community. And we have been able to do this service with all the help from our community members. Without that, like, we would have been to such a great extent today. And before we begin the session, so I would like to introduce today's speaker, Mr. Anil Gandhi Garu. So Anil Gandhi is a leading tax practitioner in USA, and he has been recognized one of the top 20 dynamic CEOs of 2022 by the CEO publication USA, and that's a leading digital media platform created by for the American CEOs. And his finance profession and privileged member of the Forbes Finance Council. And distinguished career in the field of finance, he has been stints in PwC, Sun Edison, Amazon, Starbucks, before he floated AG FinTax in Seattle. So his webinar on the taxation and finance planning are keenly awaited events by thousands of entrepreneurs, businessmen, and professionals across the USA. And we are glad that we have Anil today here for a great session, which many people have been waiting for. And with this, I would like to hand over the session to Anil Garu.
Thank you.
Anil Garu, over to you.
Sir, thank you. Thank you very much. Thanks, Andy. And thanks to TTA also for organizing such a very hot topic. And recently, there are some changes announced by Indian government on this repatriation of funds. So after that, in the last 1-2 months, actually, I had received at least a couple of hundreds of questions on this topic. But I think now this is a very right timing of this session. And thank you. And thanks, Keshav, for coordination. And thanks. Yeah. Thank you. So let's get into the topic. I'm just sharing my screen. Keshav, I hope you can see my screen.
Yes, Anil Garu, I can see your screen. And to all the audience here, we'll have the Q&A session at the end of the topic. We'll unmute the mics, and you can ask any questions that you have directly to Anil.
Sure, thank you. So as before you get into the topic, and most of you might know me already, but if anyone is new, so just this is a very high brief about me. Keshav already covered. So I have 20 years plus experience in the core finance, accounting, and tax field as a CFO, finance controller, and other positions. I work for Amazon, Starbucks, PricewaterhouseCoopers, and Sun Edison, which was the world's largest renewable energy company. And around 5 years back, around 4.5 years back, we started our organization AG FinTax, based out of Seattle, but we have clients we have licenses to do the business in every state of America, and we have clients in many states in US. And I am also the Forbes Finance Council member for the last couple of years. And last year, I was also awarded as a top 20 CEOs of America. And this year, last week, I was also awarded as a business. I was also received a Business Excellence Award from TV9. And we are a big team of CPAs, chartered accountants, and other finance professionals, focusing on helping people on how to optimize their tax savings, tax planning, and also CFO services. So, and if you want to know more about me, just Google search Anil Gandhi. You will find at least a couple of hundreds of thousands to thousands of media coverage about me and my achievements. And I'm also the Forbes expert panel member. Okay, let's get into the topic. So we all hailed from India. So it is a very frequent question I receive in my last 5 years of my experience. I received some thousands of questions on this topic. How do we send money? How do we get money from our home country? So and most of you are aware that we do also have some common understanding, double tax avoidance agreements between US and India. So I will try to cover to the extent possible. And if you have any questions, if you want to cover any more topic, because I will cover in the presentations to some extent. If you have any questions, I'm happy to take up the questions at the end of the session. First, very basic question. Who is an NRI? Who is an OCI? So NRI is an Indian citizen, but residing out of USA or out of India. So we are talking about, because we are moving, for today's topic, repatriation from India. So we are trying to focus more about Indian rules and regulations. And I will also try to cover about US regulations and wherever it's required. So as per Indian regulations, so who is an NRI? Means a person is living for more than 180 days in India, he's considered as a resident of India. If a person is not a resident, then person is considered as a non-resident. I'm not getting into in more detail, but very high level, because every one of us today, whoever is attending this call today, are NRIs. So a person living outside India, but having a citizenship of India, so he is considered as an NRI, non-resident of India. So and there is also one more category called overseas citizen of India. It's an OCA. So there's a separate application process. You can also, once you become a US citizen, you can go for an OCA application also. So there are some specific guidelines are designed around this NRI and OCA regulations. So, and the other important, just I'm trying to cover some basics. Slowly I'll get into the topic. So most of us are not having NRE accounts or NRO accounts. When I talk to so many people, my clients and prospects and friends, they say that still they are using savings account from India, which was opened even before they relocated to US. As per FEMA regulations, this is a non-compliance. Being an NRI, you are not supposed to have a savings account in India, a regular savings account in India. So that is the first thing. If you are not, yes, I know that no banker is asking. Many people have been using the savings account, but that itself is wrong. We are not supposed to do that. Why I'm insisting on that point is, if at all in the future, if you want to move the funds from India to US, if you use your savings account, please note you are not compliant with the FEMA regulations. And if you are using that account to transfer the funds to the US, then you are doing two mistakes. So most of the regulations for NRIs are connected with NRE account or NRO account, not with the savings account. So if you have any savings account, my strong recommendation, please convert that to the NRE account or NRV account. All major banks have NRE, NRO accounts. NRE is non-resident earnings and NRO is NRE is you send funds from US to India. That is where you use NRE account. Like transfer, if you see on the screen, transfer foreign earnings to India in Indian rupees. You send the money from dollars here, but it gets converted to the rupees when it reaches to the account. This is called NRE account. NRO account it's a savings account exclusively for NRIs to collect the income generated in India. Like example, rental income, or you may have some stock transactions, or you might have some capital gains, or you may have some business income there. So NRO account is like an operating account in India, exclusively designed for NRIs. So these two, and there is one more account called FCNRA. It's like, this is like foreign currency NR account. It is like, it's a foreign currency non-resident account. It means you can send the funds from US to India, but the funds will be in India, but in dollar account. So we are not converting dollars to rupees. So it is very easy to bring back the funds whenever you want in the future. So as we all know, the interest rate in US is very less from the savings account. So I do know that some people transfer money, but in India interest rates are high. So what people do is they send some money from US to India because the interest rates are high. But the problem is our rupee account, rupee versus dollar gets appreciated or depreciated. It has an impact. If you look at the 10-15 years, what was our rupee rate? It was around $40. Right now, what is it? It is $80. So whatever money you sent 10-15 years back, you cannot bring back the same money what you sent earlier. So that is a disadvantage of sending the funds from US dollars to Indian rupees. So to arbitrage this risk, some people they open a FCNR account, foreign currency non-resident account in India. They'll transfer the funds from US to India in dollars. And the money, and of course, Indian government is very smart there. So they are not paying a good interest on this FCNR and FCNR accounts. Because like example, if you save your money in NRE account, NRE fixed deposit account, on average, you get 5, 6, 7% interest rate. But if it's an FCNRA, they are giving only 2%, 3% only. So they are taking the advantage. But just a conceptual, I'm trying to explain. I'm trying to explain the concept here. NRE account, NRO account, FCNRA account. And so under FMR rules, you should not have any savings account. Don't think that, okay, no one is asking me. No, if the problem comes, then they will raise this point. Come on, you are not in compliance with FEMA, and there will be a lot of interest penalties for all the balances, whatever you're having in your savings account. So all top banks, ICICI, HDFC, what do you call it, Kotak Mahindra, all these guys have SBI have NRE accounts or NRE, NRO accounts. You can open this from online. So you can go to the websites and you can open NRE accounts or NRO accounts. Then, in the recent announcement, there was a big, what should I say, a lot of noise on this topic. 20% TCS on the money, whatever you are remitting from India to US. So it was like even a panic situation. I still remember a lot of people call me, hey Anil, July 1st, people are saying that after July 1st, if I send any money, I need to pay 20% from India to US. I want to clarify this. Okay. First, in general, from India to US, if you remit any funds, not from our own account, okay? So like example, I have some bank account balance. If you're in India, if you're in US, if you have some money in India and from there to here, if you're sending from your account to your account, you should be good. But if you're an Indian resident, like example, parents, if you are studying in US, your parent needs to send some money from India to US for your studies. So then there is a TCS 5% tax deducted, tax collected at source. There is a 5% TCS has to be deducted. Or if a person is traveling from India, a foreign trip, like example, your brother, sister, your parents wants to come for a foreign trip or vacation. In those cases, there are some TCS transactions are there. So in general, it was 5%. Now they made it 20%. And first of all, this is not a tax at all. This is a tax collected at source. This is like our withholding taxes in US. So they withhold some money, but if anyone paid this 20%, they can get back this money by filing a tax return. This is for Indian residents only. For non-Indians, this rule is not applicable. Even on the July 1st or even before June 30th, I remember I received at least 10 calls saying that today is the last day. I want to send money. I want to bring all my money, whatever is in India, to US. Point to be noted, if you are an NRI, this 20% rules are not applicable for you. Completely just ignore this. This is only for Indian residents. But still, if there are, I know that a lot of students also attending these sessions these days. So just if you are getting any money, if your parents are sending money from India to US because they're Indian residents for your education purpose, there is a withholding of 5%. So, so that is a very important. And also medical treatment. If if anyone is sending money from India, an Indian resident is sending money from India to US for the medical treatment. So then again, there is a 5% withholding. But otherwise, if you want to buy any property or Indian residents, okay, if they want to buy any property, if they want to invest any money in US, or if they want to come for a travel, vacation and anything, now there is a 20% rule is applicable. So they have to deduct 20% before they sending any money to US. So, and as I said, this is just a withholding taxes. They can file the tax returns later and they can recover back the entire 20% to the extra, up to 20%, subject to if there are any tax applicabilities. So this is not applicable to NRIs. So you don't need to worry at all. And recently there is a change. It was July 1st. Now it is moved to the October 1st, 2023 onwards. This 20% rule is coming to. So if you're an NRI, don't worry about this. Just ignore this. But I'm okay. So there. Repatriation schemes. Our RBI and FEMA, they both together, they came up with two schemes. Whenever if a person in India or if you want to send money from India to US, there are two schemes. Scheme number one, $1 million scheme. Scheme number two, liberalized remittance scheme. So $1 million scheme is for NRIs. That is the reason why I covered the definition of NRI. So, and liberalized remittance scheme is for non-residents or Indian residents. Like example, if someone wants to give a gift to you, so then what are the rules are applicable? Or if someone wants to send their kids to the education to the US, so what are the rules applicable? So those are the two schemes defined by SBI and for RBI and FEMA. I will cover both the things, both the schemes now. First, I will cover with very a basic one, which is liberalized remittance scheme. Liberalized remittance scheme is only for Indian residents. Like someone is coming from there to here a temporary, maybe for the medical purpose or maybe for vacation, or they are sending money for kids education in US. So maybe just I'm giving some example, or otherwise they are buying some softwares from US, or they are buying some online shopping. Like example, I know that many people import a lot of items from Amazon.com. So just by they buy a lot of items in online. Right now, everything, now even Amazon, I think a few years back, Amazon launched a global dispatch option. Like you can buy any item from anywhere in the world and it can be dispatched to anywhere. So, but in all those circumstances, there is a these rules will come into the picture. And under this scheme, how much money? Under this scheme, how much money can be dispatched? Up to $250,000 a person can send to US. Like example, your friend, I mean, these days I do also hear a lot of questions, but because now everyone has more cash balances. If someone wants to buy a property from India in US, or someone wants to invest maybe in the stock market or maybe some other investments, how much money they can send? To the maximum of $250,000 they can send in a year. What is an year definition? In India, a year definition is April to March, and also it is like this LRS scheme is applicable when people are sending money. An Indian resident is sending money to a non-resident. Our parents are Indian residents, we are non-residents. So think like that. So if an Indian resident is sending money to a non-resident, then it is called LRS scheme. So $250,000 is what we can send. And number two, so and also if like example, if someone wants to give a gift, which I'll cover it in the next slide, so up to $250,000 you can get the money. And it's about the payment. Like example, Anil Grandi, I'm a non-resident here. My parents who are living in Vijayanagaram in India, so they are Indian resident. If they want to give the money, they can send the money. They don't need to send to US. Even they are sending money to an NRI, because I have an NRE account, NRY accounts in India. So if they are giving the money to me, these rules will come into the picture. Up to $250,000, it is covered. And if anything is more, it has to go through an RBI clearance. RBI approval is required, and this process may take a couple of months if you want to send more than $250,000. So then, $1 million scheme, very popular, which is applicable to the 90%, as 80 to 90% of the audience who are there in the call. And we are also doing FB Live now. So if you are in FB Live, so yeah, and I mean, we shared our FB Live. You can visit our FB page, also AZ Fintech's FB page. We post a lot of information there. So this is what applicable. This is what you need to focus, which you should know. Everyone should know about this scheme. It's a $1 million scheme. Earlier, there were a lot of confusion on this area, how much money we can send and everything, but RBI has created exclusive scheme for this. So $1 million scheme. So what happens? This scheme is only for NRIs, OCI, and foreign nationals. This is not for Indian residents. That is, if like example, if my parents are in India, so they are Indian residents. This is not for them. This is for me, Anil Grandi, who is an NRI. And we can, under this scheme, we can transfer up to $1 million between my own accounts. So I can send money from India bank account, from my India NRE account or NRO account to my US. I can send this $1 million per year to the per. What is the per year again? Year means year, April to March. And financial year, April to March. Then if it is more than $1 million, we need an RBI approval. Like example, I sold a property in India. I might have received some $10 million, maybe just giving a, I might have received a property from my parents, and I sold the property for $10 million. Can I get back the $10 million to US? Answer is no, without RBI approval, because per year maximum is only $1 million per person. And like example, this year I have not used this limit at all. So next year I want to bring the funds. Can the unused balance can be rolled over? Answer is no. So this 1 million bracket opens on April 1st, closes on March 31st next year. So in that financial year in India, in a year, I can transfer $1 million from my own US Indian accounts to my own US accounts to the maximum of $1 million NRV account. And please note, whenever you are sending the money from India to here, if at all, if I need to pay any taxes in India on that money, I have to pay taxes. Otherwise, money cannot be moved. Like example, I have a land in Vizag. If I want to sell the property, or like example, if I want to sell the property, and if I sell the property, I receive the money, I have to pay taxes in India because income generated in India. So I owe taxes to Indian tax department. I need to pay taxes, then only I can bring the money to US. Otherwise, I am not in compliance. Then, if at all, if I have any money in NRE account, like every year, every month, I send some money to NRE account, which is, as I covered in earlier, what is an NRE account? I just transfer money from US account to NRE account. Here to there. The entire money, I can get it back at any time. If I have any balance in NRE account, that money can be freely repatriable without any limits. So no limits are applicable for my NRE account. And under the scheme, like example, if what are come under scheme under the scheme? If I'm if there are any sale proceeds of property, any bank balances, superannuation benefits, like example, I might be receiving a gratuity, or I might have received an insurance policy proceeds, or I might have received a money from my provident fund withdrawal, or any shares and security sale. If I have any shares, mutual funds, if I'm selling anything, all this process, all this together to the maximum of 1 million, I can transfer from my personal account India for personal account to US. Then sale proceeds to be deposited in NRO account. So I specifically mentioning here sale proceeds to be deposited in NRO account because I have been seeing Many people are using still their savings, the regular savings account, which was opened so many years back. Please don't use that savings account for any of the sale proceeds, because having that account itself is a non-compliance. Then after that, if you do this transfer, you may be get into the problem. Please avoid using your regular savings accounts in India. Then one more thing which is very important, 20% TDS on sale proceeds. If I am selling any property in India, the seller has an obligation. The seller, the buyer. So the buyer and seller. Okay, whenever I'm buying the properties in India, so there is an obligation of paying 20% withholding taxes. So the seller can withhold the taxes of 20%. And like example, if I'm selling any property in India, the buyer, whenever they're remitting the money to me, they have an obligation to hold 20% of the proceeds on our name. They have to hold it. Like example, if I'm buying a property for $1 million, the land which I have taken example in Visakhapatnam, I sold the land for 1 crore rupees. The buyer, before they're giving the money to me, they need to hold 20% sale proceeds, that is 20 lakhs rupees, and only the balance, only 80 lakhs rupees they have to send to us. And here, interestingly, even the seller is also responsible. Like example, a lot of times people say that the buyer doesn't know that I am an NRI. He is ready to pay me, but no, you both are obligated. You both are obligated to deduct 20% withholding taxes, and you need to remit to the IRS, to the Indian government, Indian tax government. The buyer has to remit to the Indian tax government, and it will be claimed by filing your tax return. So I'm not covering the topic of when you need to file the tax returns, everything that says that itself is in India, that itself is a separate topic completely. But if there is any sale transaction in India, you have to file a tax return. And whatever withholding tax was there, the 20%, you can get it back. If there is no 20% tax liability at all, I mean, if there is no tax liability at all up to 20%, like example, in this example, I'm selling the property of a land for 1 crore rupees, but the 20 lakhs was withheld. But I say that there is no tax liability of 20%. What can I do? So then we can file an online form called Form 13 to reduce the TDS. If I say that there is no tax liability at all, then what we can do is, we can, or otherwise if 20% is not applicable, only if it's a 10% or 5%. You can reduce this 20% by filing this Form 13 in online. But this process is taking on average 1 month to get an approval from the government. So if at all, if you're selling the property in India, please note that, please plan in advance. You have to file for Form 13. Otherwise, they will hold 20% of the sale proceeds, and you will get back that money next year. Whenever you file your taxes, at that time only in India, you can get your money back. Otherwise, money gets stuck with Indian government for 1 year. And I just said this $1 million is about one account to another account. Then agri sale proceeds. If you have any properties, if you have any agricultural land in in India, so what are the rules applicable? So you can, if at all, if you are selling your agricultural land, and you can remit up to $1 million under $1 million scheme. And please note, if you are an NRI and if you are a US citizen, NRI citizens, you cannot buy an agricultural land in India. So if you are residing in America, you are a US citizen. US citizens cannot buy agricultural land in India. But there are two exceptions. So exception number one, you bought this agricultural land before you become a US citizen, that is approved. Or you inherited the property from your parents, that is also approved. Then you can sell the property and you can get the money back. For suppose, if you bought the property after becoming, if you bought an agricultural land after you became NRI India US citizen, then you already violated FEMA regulations, number one. And if you're sending that money again to US, you under this 1 million scheme, that is also again you are not doing. I mean, this is also again a violence. So you are going to meet two violences. It is not worth of these transactions. So then, inheritance and or gifts. This is also a very common question which I get from the public. So if you are receiving gift or if you are giving a gift in US, I am not covering that topic at all here because that opens up a lot of questions and we may not even have a time also. But if you have any specific questions, which I will cover it in the Q&A, but this is only for if you receive any inheritance or gifts from India. You can get gift of up to $250,000 from your parents, and from that is if you remember the previous LRS scheme, an Indian resident can give a gift to can give the money up to $250,000. Like example, my parents wants to give a gift, I can get up to $250,000. Then if I receive more than $100,000 from any foreign national as a gift, I am living in US, I am a non-resident of India, NRI, and if I receive a gift from any foreign national for more than $100,000, I have an obligation to file Form 3520 to Income Tax Department. So in US, to IRS in US. So this is a very, very frequent missing point. Many people, we get gifts from our parents. So we have to file Form 3520. Otherwise, you are under non-compliances. Form 3520 in US. Okay. And whenever you are receiving a gift, please note that as per Indian income tax regulations, there is a gift deed you need to submit to you need to sign. Like example, my sister wants to give some gift to me, any one property or cash balance or anything. So technically they need to go and meet their auditor, local Indian chartered accountant, and they need to write a gift deed in India. Taking a gift from the relatives is completely tax-free in India. If I'm getting any gift from any of my sister, my brother, my parents, completely tax-free. And also inheritance. If after my parents' era, if I received any money from my parents in India, it is completely tax-free. So from Indian perspective, so these are the rules. Then, okay, Anil, this is good. Then how do I get the money back? As I said, you need to go to you can go to any bank. Like example, I have an NRO account with HDFC. I can ask HDFC account guy, hey, come on, can you send this money from India to US? Yes, but they need some documentation. The first and foremost, we need to file Form A2. This is reason for transfer. Why you are transferring the funds from India to US? Number two, outward remittance form. This is a bank form like our receipts, the challans, correct? So some outward remittance form. And Form 15CA, it's a declaration by the remitter. That is, I am transferring the money from India to US, saying that I am giving a declaration that this is a tax paid money. And the next one, the most important, Form 15CB, it is a certification by chartered accountant saying that, hey, Anil has paid all taxes applicable in US on this money, and it is easy to go. It is ready. The money can go from India to US. He has to certify. This is called Form 15CB. So these documents are mandatory. So, and other important thing which I noticed is, whenever you are doing the transfer from India to US, sometimes bankers are not even asking for the documentation, but you have an obligation to file these forms with your banker. Please don't miss this. Otherwise, IRS or Indian government has a right to send a notice to you and ask for a penalties if you are not filing Form 15CA and Form 15CB. If you are remitting money from India to US, you have to file Form 15CA and 15CB, whether banker is asking or not. You have an obligation to do this. So, okay, Anil, yes, I got the money now. So what do I need to do? What about US declaration? The first, and as I'm taking an example of sale of property. So these are the steps. First, you have to pay taxes in India whenever you are selling your property. Number one. Number two, you need to report that sale of property in US and also India tax returns. You have to disclose that sale transaction. In the same example, the Vizag, whatever the property I sold in Vizag, 1 crore rupees, I have to disclose it in India. I have to file tax return in India, and I have to pay taxes in India. And at the same time, I have to report that in US tax return also. But point to be noted here, pay taxes in India. The income generated, the income generated in India, so you have to pay taxes in India. And whatever that we have double tax avoidance agreement between US and India, so there is no double tax at all. So you don't pay 2 times of taxes. It's only 1 time. Whatever taxes you paid in India, you need to submit those, you need to get those proof of those tax payments, and you can get an international tax credit. So you can get an international tax credit and you can reduce your tax liability in US. In the same example, I sold the property in India. I filed an India tax return on 1 crore rupees on average. Example, if I paid, if it is a long-term capital gain, I might have paid maybe around 10 lakhs rupees. The 10 lakhs rupees, whatever I paid, keep it aside. In US, in US 1040 tax return, I have to disclose saying that I sold a property in India. I got a 1 crore rupees as a sale proceeds, and what are the income calculations? I have to calculate my capital gain taxes here. In US, an example, I have to pay, just an example, if I have to pay $10,000 in US, how much money I paid already? I paid already 10 lakhs rupees. So which is more than $10,000. So I can get an international tax credit saying that, come on, I don't need to pay any money to IRS now because I already paid 10 lakhs rupees to in India. So if there is, if you have any tax liability in US, you can take an international tax credit for the money whatever you paid in India. For suppose, if I need to pay more taxes in US, in this example, if I need to pay $20,000 to US IRS, but I paid only $10,000, 10 lakhs rupees in India, which is around $8,000. So the difference amount, whatever is that the tax liability, I have to pay in US. So in simple terms, there is no duplication of taxes, but in India, if the tax rate is 10%, in US, the tax rate is 20%, in total, I have to pay 20%. So 10% I have to pay in India, the difference amount I have to pay it in US. So this is called international tax credit. So you have to disclose it. I do also notice many people are not even disclosing the sale of property in US tax return, which is completely hiding information. So hiding income. So you will get into a lot of issues. We all are immigrants here. Be compliant. If at all, if you need to pay taxes, please pay. If you need to declare something, please declare and file taxes appropriately. You need to have an expertise who can understand Indian tax rules and also US tax rules. Otherwise, you may miss something. And finally, whenever you are filing a tax return, if there is any mistake or if you are missing something, you are responsible for the tax return. You are not accountant, your CPA or your accountant is not responsible. So you need to understand, you can find the people who can understand both India and US, if possible, who has both credentials, US credentials and India credentials, so they can do a better job in understanding. And along with the tax return, if you are receiving more than $100,000 gift from any foreign national, you have to file Form 3520 also along with your tax return. This is a simple summary try to put it in a company. So whenever you sell a property, first, how identify how much taxes you need to pay in India and pay taxes in India. File Form A to Form 15CA, 15CB, which is a self-declaration and also a chartered accountant certification, and remit funds to US. This is just straightforward from the Indian perspective. Then US, you have to report that in US tax return, and you need to calculate the taxes here, claim international tax credits, and you, if at all, if you need to pay any more taxes in US, please pay those taxes, and file Form 3520 if you are receiving gift for more than $100,000. And the most important, file Form F bar, foreign bank account reporting, which I'm covering in the next slides. Whenever you have more than $10,000 balance in the foreign financial accounts, you have to file some other forms here. That is F bar and FATCA reporting. So if a US person, a US resident, we all are US residents. If we are living for more than 180 days in US, we are considered as a US resident. If US resident has to, the US resident has to file F bar if they have any foreign financial interest in any foreign financial accounts. Financial interest, that is means I own that property, or I own that I own that account for more than $10,000. It's an aggregate. Like example, I have $3,000 in my NRE account. I have $10,000 in my stock market. In India stock market, I may have a Reliance stock. So the total aggregate, if it's exceeding $10,000, we have to file F bar. And it's very important. This is only for foreign financial accounts definition of foreign financial accounts only. It means any bank accounts, savings accounts, insurance policies, securities accounts, brokerage accounts, mutual funds, or insurance policies in India, LIC policy, Kotak insurance policy, any insurance policies, a cash value of the insurance policy is also part of this $10,000. If all this together, if it's exceeding $10,000, you have to file F bar. Please note, real estate is not included in this definition. If I have a property, I have a property in Vijayanagaram, where my parents are living, but I don't need to report that property in F bar unless in F bar. If I have any rental income there, then I need to report in US. Otherwise, I don't need to report my foreign real estate properties unless they have a interest, any income from that property. And many people are not doing this F bar reporting. I notice few people are receiving notices, and the penalties are very, very big. And just be complaint, file everything. F bar is only reporting. You are not paying any taxes. You are only reporting. Just you report your F bar and be happy. And I know that many people say that, Anil, I have not been filing F bar for a long time. What should I do? Come on, start doing it now. Okay, you have to bite your bullet. How many more years you can do like this? Okay, you do also have option to go back to the previous years. There is a process called streamlined process given by Department of Treasury. You can go back to the previous years also, and you can file your F bar. But that is a complex, but you have to go through that. Otherwise, at least bite the bullet, do it from now. Whatever is there, come on. You have done a mistake, face the heat. If you don't want to face the heat, go for streamlined process given by Department of Treasury and file F bar for the last 6 years also. And the due date to file F bar is April 15th. It has an automatic extension of up to October 15th also. So you have time technical up to October 15th. You have time to file F bar every year. And F bar is applicable even if there was $10,000, even at any one point of time. Like example, my parents are using my NRO bank account debit card. Just give me an example. I send maybe some 10 lakhs rupees to my parents. I send to my NRO account. I send the money. Immediately, my father went to the bank and withdrew the money because he has a power of attorney. He withdrew the money. Now what happens? It went and hit my money, my bank account. Even at one time, I have to file F bar. So F bar is mandatory. It is not an optional. It is a mandatory. Thank you very much. I know there are a lot of questions. All questions I will answer. And after that, we will also unmute. If anyone is in FB live and if they want to ask any questions directly, the Zoom link is shared in the FB comments. Please join the Zoom link and ask me the questions if you want to talk to me. Or you can post your questions in the comments box. We are happy to answer all your questions here. Thank you.
Thank you, Anil Garu. Madhu Garu, could you please read out the questions for Anil?
So Anil Garu, there are a couple of questions, Andy. In LRS,
maybe just give a minute.
Yeah. Please. Yeah, thank you.
Please go ahead.
Yeah, is LRS 20% TCS applicable?
Yes, it is applicable.
Okay.
But it is applicable from October 1st onwards.
How
soon we have to apply Form 13 to get back that 20%?
At least 1 month. No. Form 13 is to reduce the withholding taxes. That is at the time of sale, the buyer has to withhold 20%. At least 45 days is what my recommendation. You can file now in advance. Once the property sale transaction completes, at the time it will be available. But on average, it is taking 1 month. If you need any help there, we have been working with a lot of, most of you know that I am also a chartered accountant. I work with a lot of Indian chartered accountants. I partnered with a lot of people. I can help you to connect with the right guy in India. So you can work with them and you can take the help. And if you need any help on foreign remittances, send one email to me or text message to this number. So we will help you in connecting you with the experts in India who can help you on this entire process. So I am also a chartered accountant. We cannot have 2 certifications in US and in India, 2 licenses. So we partnered with a few people. We can help you there on the entire process. So you don't need to worry at all. The entire process they will take care.
And one more question from the same person, Sujata. Can we get the gift from siblings also up to 250K?
Answer is yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. And from Ravi, there is a question. Yeah.
Hari, one quick question around those 250K lines. Anil Garu, this is Hari Kunturandi. So that 250K limit, is it like per year or is it like once in a lifetime? Like what is the timeline there?
Per year. Per year.
Okay.
Okay. And this question is from Ravi. He says like, my mother is a frequent traveler to USA and has stayed more than 180 days last year. Will she be considered NRI and forever considered as a NRI?
Okay. No, she is not NRI because NRI definitions are, as per Indian regulations, the definitions are, there are a lot of definitions are there. You need to live for in India, because I'm talking about in Indian regulations. You need to live in India for at least 182 days in the last year. That is an option number 1. Or you need to live for 730 days or something in the last 7 years. So there are different rules are there. So it may not be applicable. She may not be considered as an NRI for all these regulations. Yeah.
So one more question from the same person, Ravi. Maybe this is from the same subject. I don't know. Like I have a huge problem to link Aadhaar card with the PAN card in India, as I do not have the old Indian mobile phone number active, which was linked with the Aadhaar card to get OTP number. So maybe this, I think this.
Okay, you can. I can help you to connect with the right person, but I don't know. I am a chartered accountant. I am not in practice there, but I can help you to some people. You can send an email to me. I'm happy to connect with the right people.
Okay. So, and the next question is on your intellectual property, Anil Garu. So somebody like, can this PowerPoint shared with all of us for future reference?
No, it is live telecasted on my FB page. Go to my FB page. First, you do the follow my FB page, then you can watch that. You can watch the recording whenever you want.
Even it's on the YouTube page of the TTA. Yeah, you can have the recording there. Okay.
Sure.
So, and from Vijay Kiran, like it's a question. It is so maybe from the session he just had posted this question. Is it also applicable for buying properties in India? Maybe from the session somewhere he has just pointed out this question. So Vijay, we'll open the session after reading these questions here. So you can ask that question if it is still unanswered. So from Vinay Shetty, hi Anil, once FBAR is filed from a certain assessment year, does FBAR have to be filed up every subsequent year even though nothing has changed?
Okay. Yes, answer is yes. If the balance is there, then definitely you have to file. If the balance is not there, then you don't need to file.
Okay. So the next question is on your offices in India. So he asked, like, do you, like, it's from Suresh. So do you have an office in Bangalore to file Indian taxes for NRIs and offer other services?
Yes, I mean, I have an office in Hyderabad. I have very big
Okay.
office in Hyderabad.
Okay.
We
From
have
there, like, I
7+
think
employees.
you can coordinate with guys
Yes,
from.
yes, yes, yes.
And it's from Venkata. The question is, when I sent money, currency was $1 in 50 rupees, and currently it is 83 rupees. Can we take this into consideration while filing taxes in USA? This is regarding the property sale in India.
Okay. Yes, definitely the foreign exchange matters. It is like considered at the time of sending the money, at what current, how many dollars you sent. So again, when you are getting back, how many dollars you received from the US perspective, how many dollars. So that's what they look at. Yes, it matters. $1.5, what it matters.
Okay. And the other question is from Vishwa Narahari. We sold one property in India 15 days back. They held capital gains. What are my options for capital gains? And the next question is, what paperwork I need to do?
Okay. So first of all, capital gains in India, there are some options available for the non-residents to reinvest so that you don't need to pay capital gain taxes. But unfortunately, in US, you have to pay taxes again. So like example, I sold a property in India. That the same, if I take my example of property in Vizag, if I sold that property I have in Indian government says that, come on, you go and reinvest the proper money, entire sale proceeds in some other property. You don't need to pay taxes. But unfortunately, US government says, I don't care, you pay taxes here. So that is the reason I say that don't worry about all reinvestment capital. There is no way to save capital gain taxes. You have, I mean, in this transaction, so you have to pay taxes in US. That's the first point. Number two, if they withhold the 20% withholding that which I covered, so the buyer has an obligation to withhold 20% from the sale proceeds. So that money you can get it back by filing your India tax return as soon as possible. So if you close the transaction this month, you have to wait to file tax returns till next year, June. So May or June. So then only you will get back your money. So that is where if you can file, if you would have filed Form 13, this money, whatever they withhold, that would have been much lesser.
So hope Vishwa that your question is answered. And next
Yes,
one is from
thank
Sharat.
you.
Yeah, okay.
Thank you, sir. Sure.
Anil, could you
Okay.
repeat?
Anil, I will be in touch with you, Andy,
Sure,
to be
sir.
more specific on this.
Okay.
And me India contact could is sorry, man.
Definitely.
So that
That's
I want
okay,
to
please.
coordinate at least for the next sale deed.
Sure, sir. Definitely, sir. Yeah.
So
So
Anil would be pleased to help.
if anyone wants to talk one-on-one with one of our partners in India, I'm very much happy to connect, and you can go talk to them and ask any questions or anything. And if you want anything from the US perspective, we do also help from the US perspective, but we offer a paid consultation because in US it's very difficult. So as a paid consultation we can offer. If you have any questions, we are happy to answer. But in general, I'm telling to everyone, sir. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
And the last one I see here on the chat is from Sharat. Okay. So he says, I would like to, hello Anil, thank you for the great session, very informative. And thanks to TDA for organizing this session. So, and thanks Sharat Garu for attending the session from our side. And the question here is, for the folks who did not file the FBAR in the past or missed mentioning any account in their FBAR, and if they start doing now, do they need to pay any penalties or file any separate forms?
Okay.
What could be the consequences?
Okay.
So this,
First of all, if possible, go and change it. I don't see any problem. So just you can go and change it. If you have not filed FBAR at all, so then you need to go for a streamlined, the name itself is streamlined process given by Department of Treasury. You have to follow the process. You need to ensure that if there is any income you didn't disclose in your US tax returns, you have to amend your US tax returns. But otherwise, there are no penalties for this.
so Madhugaru, you can go in order of the hand. Few people have raised their hands, so you can unmute.
Sir, no, can we answer that? If there are any questions in the FB live, can we answer this question? Yeah.
No questions on FP, Andy. I don't see anything there.
Okay, good. Okay.
Everything is posted on Zoom. And I have a couple of questions, Andy. So you said when we transfer money to a savings account, that is a bit problem, right? So I have NRE and NRO account. I do transfer money from my account to my NRE account, but sometimes I do transfer it to my parents' account, which are savings accounts in India. So is there anything that I need to file, or is there anywhere I need to mention this?
Parents' accounts is okay. I was only meant NRIs should not have savings account. Your parents are Indian residents; they can have a savings account.
Got it, Andy. So I have one other question. Before I moved to India, there are a couple of properties that we inherited, and there are few which we got it as gift during marriage. So those are a bit expensive now, and we are doing some real estate constructions. We sell few apartments. So those should I have to file, and the proceedings that I get there, since those are gift, are they taxable? Should I pay tax here in US?
Okay, a bit complex question. I will answer this. In US, receiving a gift is a tax free. You don't need to pay any taxes at all. So in India, receiving a gift from the relatives is completely tax free. So receiving a gift, you don't need to worry anything at all. But in India, as per Indian regulation, Indian income tax, you have to go for gift tax, gift deed. You need to sign the person, whoever is giving the gift, they need to sign a gift deed with you. Number one. In US, because you are a resident in US, you received more than $100,000 gift from your relative. If you received more than $100,000, you have to file Form 3520. So there are no taxes, but you have to inform to the IRS about through Form 3520. Number one. Number two, if at all, whenever you're selling the properties, so definitely you have to disclose the income in both the places, and I explained it in detail already. Let me know if I missed any of your questions. You asked a few questions.
So these gifts and gift deeds are signed when both the parties are in India, and one of the party traveled to US now, and they are NRA. How is this capital gain calculated on a gift? So let's say I got a gift when it is 5 crores. Now it is close to 50 crores, and now we want to make a sale, and we get let's say we receive 50 crores on that. What is the capital gain? Is it 40 crores and we need to pay taxes on those capital gains? It's a gift.
Answer is yes, because it's gift long time back, correct? So yes, answer is yes.
Got it.
You have to pay capital gain taxes on this 40 crores. Yes.
Anil garu, a follow-up question andi, capital gains. Suppose if we buy a new property with the same sale proceeds, that is point number one. And point number two, capital gains మీరు ఇక్కడ డిక్లేర్ చేయాలన్నారు కదా యుఎస్ లో. అంటే ఎట్లా డిక్లేర్ చేస్తాం అది? అంటే we don't have any paper that this is the capital gain అని అట్లా.
నేను చెప్తాను సార్. సో కంపల్సరీ సారీ ఫస్ట్ క్వశ్చన్ ఒకసారి క్వశ్చన్ ఏమన్నారు? ఐమ్ సారీ.
ఇప్పుడు మేము ప్రాపర్టీ అమ్మేసాము.
ఎస్.
అండ్ క్యాపిటల్ గెయిన్స్ ఇట్ ఇస్ కట్ ఆల్రెడీ.
అవును.
ఓకే. Suppose if we buy property now with the same to avoid, not to avoid, just to save capital gains in India, another property అది చేసామనుకోండి.
I will answer. Now I got your part. First of all, if you want to reinvest the sale proceeds to buy some other real estate property in India, in India you don't need to pay any taxes. It's a tax exempted, or you get a tax deductions, tax exemptions. But in US, you have to disclose that money. You have to calculate like at the time of sale, whatever, just regular capital gain transaction. Like you sold a property, you got some sale proceeds. There is a cost basis to deduct that. The difference is capital gain, and you have to pay taxes in US. If you paid any taxes in India, you get a tax credit. But in this example, you didn't pay anything in India because you got a tax exemption. That is, you have to pay taxes in US.
Yeah, okay. But we can get those capital gains, whatever that is held, only after the taxes is submitted, right? Then we can get back, isn't it?
Yes, you can get back. You can back the withholding, whatever the 20% withholding, whatever is there, you can get it back. Yes.
Okay.
I mean, they calculate everything, then the difference amount you will get it back.
Okay.
And
Anil
Anil
garu,
garu, yeah, there is one question on the chat. Like, is there a time limit to claim back the 20% TDS? From John, this is from
No,
John.
there is no at the time of filing your tax returns. Generally, I think you within 3 years you can file your taxes and you can get back your money.
So
There is a hand raised from VG. VG, do you want to go ahead?
Anil garu, there is a follow-up question by my wife. Ante
Please.
కూడా కలిచారు మీరు.
ఓకే. ఏం లేదండి. ఒక స్మాల్ క్వెషన్. అంటే మేము వెన్ మై కిడ్స్ వర్ స్మాల్ మైనర్స్ వి బాట్ ద ప్రాపర్టీ ఇన్ ఇండియా. నౌ దే ఆర్ మేజర్. సో డూ దే హ్యావ్ టు డిక్లేర్ ఇన్ దేర్ టాక్సెస్ బికాజ్ ఇట్స్ ఇన్ దేర్ నేమ్ ద ప్రాపర్టీ?
ఓకే. సో సేల్ చేశారా మీరు ఇప్పుడు?
అవునండి.
సేల్ చేసినప్పుడు if yes, they own the property, it will be under their tax returns.
Even though it is bought by us when they were minor.
Yes, correct. Title is owned by them. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay అండి. థ్యాంక్స్.
Thank you, Anil. Yeah.
Yeah, ఇక్కడ ఎవరైనా if anyone is at the TANA convention, I am here. You can meet. I met lot of people from TTA. Even yesterday night we had hospitality room and we met so many people. And if anyone is at TANA convention, Philadelphia, I am there right now. I am sitting in a hotel in Philadelphia and talking. So,
Okay. Thank you, Andy.
Anil sir, good morning, sir.
Grandkids busy anamata. Otherwise, I would have met you. Come
Yes, sir.
to Philadelphia and met you.
oh,
Thank you.
okay, sure, sir. We missed you. Yeah, okay. Chappan, sir.
Hello,
Anil sir, good morning, sir. Sir, the biggest elephant valuation, sir, land value, whichever we are selling in India. So, no buyer is ready to declare completely and
I
throw
know.
it in white account. So what happens is generally we send money through parents' account. They buy some property and we want to sell it. Now, since it is there in their name, they will be eligible to send under 250K, not 1 million, because it is their property. So, and since they can only send until 250K, but since they are already selling that property, then again it is slowly, because we will only be getting that buyer amount, and it will be holding in black, I mean much in that amount. So it is not exactly possible to get that complete amount.
Yep.
We will be, and again in this TDS also, sir, what I am feeling, many people are saying, and I also have some doubt. So Indian tax limits are there, like more than 7 lakhs you come under 10% slab, and more than 10 lakhs you come under. So whichever we are hoping that we will be getting that 20% back, but most of us we are sending more than 10 lakhs or 15 lakhs in cases, so we'll be falling under that higher slab, and definitely we'll be paying that slab amounts.
Definitely.
Is that
Definitely
correct,
you have to pay. Correct. That is what I mean. You can reduce it by submitting a Form 13. There are
Okay,
different
sir.
ways. In Form 13, these Indian Chartered Accountants will help by claiming
Okay,
different ways to reduce that amount. So,
Oh,
So there are
okay, sir.
different
But
ways. There are
those
different ways to-
deductions and all,
Yes.
since we are not staying in the country, it will not be highly applicable, right? Mostly we'll be losing that much, right? So
no, you will get it
I
back
just
by
want to-
filing a tax return. By filing a tax return, you will get back your money. Correct. You may need to wait for 1 year.
Okay, sir. I'm just saying, I mean, if it's more than slab amount, let's say like 20 lakhs, we will be getting that 20% TDS back, sir? Or,
Yes. So, like example, in India, you need to calculate the capital gain taxes. Like example, in this 1 crore example. So 1 crore was the sales proceeds. They withhold the 20 lakhs, which is a 20%. But when I do the capital gain calculation, it is only 5 lakhs. Example, the tax liability is only 5 lakhs.
Okay, sir.
You will
Okay.
get back that money from Indian government, Indian tax department, when you file your taxes. Without filing
okay,
tax
sir.
returns, you will not get. But alternatively, proactively, you can submit this Form 13 saying that, hey, 20 lakhs is not applicable, only 5 lakhs. You can do all the calculations before, and you can say that only 5 lakhs, so only deduct 5 lakhs. So that also can be done. So planning
okay, sir.
in advance is very, very important. Many people don't know this, so they miss this opportunity. But if at all, if any one of you are trying to sell the property, first go for Form 13. That is your first step. So once you decide you want to sell the property, go and file Form 13.
Okay, sir. So thank you, sir. These are very confusing topics, but you are making it
No
very
problem.
clear, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. And also one more thing I can help you on other thing, $250,000. So
Sir.
they can give gift to each person $250,000. $250,000
okay.
to you, $250,000
My
to
wife.
your wife, and also
Okay,
to
sir.
your kids also. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So they
But
can give
what's
their-
happening is that like the person who is sending, let's like my father also, to get that 250K in his account also. So,
Okay, no,
like
they can
there's-
show it as so they can show it as their income from historical, correct? In the last 40-50 years, they made so much, they
Yes,
earned so
yes,
much of
yes.
money. We need to declare
Yes,
that
yes, sir.
that is the saved money. Okay, okay, so but that is at high level I'm talking about. I'm not
Okay, sir.
authorized to talk about other ways, but legally whatever I'm talking, these are the legal terms I'm talking about.
Okay, sir.
Okay,
Great,
Anil
sir. Very
garu,
thank you, sir.
Thank you, Nari.
we understand. Just a minute, like it's a busy day for Anil at the convention, and I understand. But Anil garu, could you spend few more minutes? There are a couple of hands which are raised in here.
Yeah,
So
before
the order
just doing
to-
it, before just doing it, if anyone is at TANA convention in the next 2 hours, actually we do also have one more panel discussion on diversification, investment diversifications and repatriation of funds from India to US. So in the next 2 hours, immediately after this, I'm going for a panel discussion. If anyone is here, they can come meet me, and you can even attend. You can ask any questions in the panel discussion room also. Yes, sir. Yeah.
So we'll go in the order, Anil. So
Yes.
VG, do you want to unmute yourself and ask a question?
Yes. Good afternoon, Anil garu. Appreciate this great service అండి. సార్ నేను ఒక హైపోథెటికల్ సిచ్యుయేషన్ క్రియేట్ చేసి అడుగుతాను సార్. దిస్ ఈస్ వెరీ కామన్ సిచ్యుయేషన్ ఫర్ మోస్ట్ ఆఫ్ అస్ హియర్ ఇన్ యుఎస్ అండి. మోస్ట్ ఆఫ్ అస్ ద ఎన్ఆర్ఐస్. సో అజ్యూమ్ దట్ ఐ ఆమ్ యుఎస్ సిటిజన్ సార్. ఓకే, నాకు అజ్యూమ్ దట్ ఐ హ్యావ్ 10 అపార్ట్మెంట్స్ బిల్ట్. ఓకే, నేను యుఎస్ సిటిజన్ గా అక్కడ ఇండియాలో 10 అపార్ట్మెంట్స్ బిల్డ్ చేశాను. అవి సేల్ చేస్తాను. సేల్ చేసేటప్పుడు సార్, ఇప్పుడు నేనే ఓనర్షిప్, ఆ టైటిల్, అపార్ట్మెంట్స్ టైటిల్, తర్వాత కపుల్ ఆఫ్ ప్లాట్స్ ఏవైతే ఉన్నాయో అవి నా పేరు మీదనే టైటిల్ ఉంది సార్, క్లియర్ టైటిల్. సో జనరల్ గా అందరిలాగానే నేను అది సేల్ చేయాలి. సేల్ చేసినప్పుడు క్యాపిటల్ గెయిన్ ఇండియాలో కట్టడాలు, 20% టీడీఎస్, కాంప్లెక్స్ కంబర్సమ్ ఏంటంటే సార్, ఇప్పుడు నేను 10 అపార్ట్మెంట్స్ అమ్మాలంటే 10 పీపుల్ కి అమ్ముతే ఆ 10 పీపుల్ ఇండియన్ ఇన్కమ్ ట్యాక్స్ డిపార్ట్మెంట్ దగ్గర ఆ రిజిస్ట్రేషన్ నెంబర్ తీసుకొని నా పేరు మీద వాళ్ళు ట్యాక్స్ విత్హెల్డ్ చేసేసి నాకు ఇవ్వడం అనేది ఇట్స్ అ బిగ్ ప్రాసెస్.
Yes.
So number one point, is there a easy way to avoid that? Point number one.
Okay.
Point number two, sir, is it దేనికైనా మనం ప్రాస్ అండ్ కాన్స్ ఆలోచిస్తాం సార్. Is that better for me to do it myself, to sell those apartments on my name, or option B, నేను నా బ్లడ్ రిలేటివ్స్, మా బ్రదర్స్, సిస్టర్స్, నెఫ్యూస్, తర్వాత సిస్టర్ ఇన్ లా, తర్వాత మదర్, వీళ్ళందరూ ఉన్నారు. నేను ఇవాళనే గిఫ్ట్ డీడ్ వాళ్ళకి చేస్తాను సార్, ఫర్ నో సేల్ కన్సిడరేషన్. చేస్తే వాళ్ళు ఏం చేస్తారు, వాళ్ళ పేరు మీదకి నేను గిఫ్ట్ డీడ్ చేసిన వెరీ సేమ్ డే ఆర్ నెక్స్ట్ డే దే కెన్ సెల్ ఇట్ టు అదర్స్. వాళ్ళు వేరే వాళ్ళకు సేల్ చేసిన తర్వాత సార్, ఆ వచ్చిన టోటల్ సేల్ కన్సిడరేషన్ కి దే ఆర్ లయబుల్ టు పే ద క్యాపిటల్ గెయిన్స్ ట్యాక్స్, ఇఫ్ ఐఎమ్ నాట్ బ్యాడ్లీ మిస్టేకెన్. సో వాళ్ళు ఆ టోటల్ సేల్ కన్సిడరేషన్ కి వాళ్ళు క్యాపిటల్ గెయిన్ కడతారు. సో అప్పుడు నేనేం చేస్తాను సార్, ఇక్కడ నా యుఎస్ ట్యాక్స్ రిటర్న్ లో నేను ఐఎమ్ నాట్ రిక్వైర్డ్ టు రిపోర్ట్ దాట్. అప్పుడు
there are some complexity ఉందండి. Now I think this is a complex situation and lot more scenario I can definitely we can help. Okay, we can schedule a meeting, but considering అందరికీ ఏదే it's too complex scenario is what you are explaining. Okay, ఎందుకంటే గిఫ్ట్స్ ఇస్తున్నారు, గిఫ్ట్ ఇచ్చినప్పుడు గిఫ్ట్ ట్యాక్స్ రిటర్న్స్ ఉన్నాయి. ఇక్కడ ఇన్ యూఎస్ వీ హ్యావ్ అ లిమిటేషన్ ఆఫ్ $12.5 million లిమిటేషన్స్ ఉంది, లైఫ్ టైమ్ లిమిటేషన్. ఆల్ దోస్ విల్ కమ్ ఇన్ టు ద పిక్చర్. మీకు నెక్స్ట్ ఫ్యూచర్ లోనే మీ ఇన్హెరిటెన్స్ ఆఫ్ ప్రాపర్టీ, మీ ప్రాపర్టీస్ మీ కిడ్స్ కి వెళ్ళినప్పుడు ఇవంతా ప్రాబ్లం అయిపోతుంది. సో ఇన్ యూఎస్ లో చెప్పండి,
పర్ పర్సన్ లిమిట్ కదా సార్?
కాదండి, ఇట్స్ లైఫ్ టైమ్ వన్ ఫర్ యూ. లైక్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్, మీరు అనిల్ గ్రంథి కెన్ గివ్ గిఫ్ట్ అప్ టు 12.5 crores, 12.5 million in my lifetime as if I'm an US resident.
Okay.
So it's not per person. Yeah. So and every year I can give, if anything is more than $17,000 gift I'm giving it will get combined. Everything has to be reported together, and it's a much complex.
ఓకే సార్. అంటే ఇక్కడ ఒకటి ఏంటంటే సార్ పాయింట్ ప్రాస్ అండ్ కాన్స్ విషయంలో ఈ అపార్ట్మెంట్సే కానీ నాకు ఇండియాలో ఉన్న కపుల్ ఆఫ్ స్మాల్ ప్లాట్సే కానీ నేను నా పేరు మీద అమ్ముకోవడం బెటరా, లేకుంటే మా పేరెంట్స్, బ్రదర్స్, సిస్టర్స్, నీసెస్ అండ్ నెఫ్యూస్ కి ట్రాన్స్ఫర్ చేసేసి
ట్రాన్స్ఫర్ చేశారు అంటే యూనిట్ గిఫ్ట్ ట్యాక్స్ యు ఆర్ లూజింగ్ యువర్ 11.5 million. మీరు in the future if you have 40%, if it's exceeding 11.5% assets గా ట్రాన్స్ఫర్ చేస్తే మీ లైఫ్ టైమ్ లో it's a 40% tax rate. Your kids has to pay.
ఓకే
I don't recommend. Anyway, it's a complex and we can go for a consultation and we can go for.
But I got a heads up. Thank you, Anil garu. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Next,
And Anil garu, there are 3 more people.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, please go.
Lakshmi, can you please unmute and ask the question?
Hello. Can I ask?
Hello, Anil garu. Question is on sale proceeds and sale proceeds capital gains. So suppose a property is sold sometime in last May. You can file that in India income tax returns only by July 31st, right? But in tax returns is already passed. Filed by April 15th. So be reported in next year file returns.
No. You can file a late return in India.
No, ఇండియాలో July 31st కి పే చేసేస్తాము, బట్ నేను చెప్తుంది US లో how do we
No, this year last year May kadandi. You can declare it this year kada. Did you file tax return for 22 in US?
right, that is in
Amended.
April. But by then we did not file taxes in India already, right? So
Then you need to amend it. You cannot declare it. You cannot declare it in this year. It has to go to in 22 year.
oh, okay, so you had to amend it this year
Amend it.
tax
You have
returns.
3 years time to amend.
Okay, thank you, sir.
No problem.
And we have Srikar. Next one.
Hello.
Srikar?
Yeah.
Let's go.
Hi. Hello, sir. ఒక సినారియో అండి, ఇండియాలో లెట్స్ సే ఒక 1 crore వర్త్ ఆఫ్ ప్రాపర్టీ అమ్మాను అనుకోండి. సో యాజ్ పర్ రిజిస్ట్రేషన్, ల్యాండ్ రిజిస్ట్రేషన్ 50 lakhs ఉంటుంది. సో ఎవరి నుంచి అయితే నేను కొన్నానో తను యాక్చువల్గా 50 lakhs రిజిస్ట్రేషన్ వాల్యూ మనం చేస్తాం, అది గవర్నమెంట్ రికార్డ్స్లో. సో రిమైనింగ్ 50 lakhs ఐసిఐసిఐ బ్యాంక్ అని ఏదైనా బ్యాంక్లో ఇవ్వాలి అంటే కెన్ మై పేరెంట్స్ డిపాజిట్ దట్ అమౌంట్ saying that this is an agricultural income?
Just a heads up, Andy, Srikar. So this is being recorded. Let's not get into any compliance issues later. We can take these questions offline. I mean, you have Anil garu contacts. You can talk to Anil garu offline, get his suggestions and what's
So reach him personally, we would say.
Yeah. But in other words, right? Can an agriculture income be deposited in the bank and then transfer it as a gift?
No. If they have money, if they can prove that that is an agricultural income, they can give gift. Gift ke maide le. They can give. Yeah. Okay, but you need to go for local chartered accountant అక్కడ ఒకసారి కన్సల్టేషన్ చేసి వాళ్ళ ఇన్కమ్స్ వ్యాలిడేట్ చేసుకొని చేయాలంటే అంతే. ఎందుకంటే సోర్స్ ఆఫ్ ఇన్కమ్ ని ఆడిట్ అయితే సోర్స్ ఆఫ్ ఇన్కమ్ ని వాళ్ళు ఇన్వెస్టిగేట్ చేస్తారు.
Okay, in India. Okay.
In India, yes.
Okay. And the next question is from Srijan.
Thanks.
Could you please?
Yes, thank you, Anil. My question is, మా నాన్న నాకు ఒక ల్యాండ్ ఇచ్చారండి. It was given as a gift deed, but then the papers got changed on my name. So if I sell and bring the proceeds, is it still under a gift or it's my property?
టైటిల్ ఆల్రెడీ ట్రాన్స్ఫర్ అయిపోయింది కదండి ఇప్పుడు.
Okay, yeah, అయిపోయింది.
That's your property, simple, done. There's no more gift కదా, అయిపోయింది.
Okay, so it's no more gift. Okay, my another question is, the $1 million scheme, is it considering both NRO and NRE accounts or just the NRO money itself $1 million?
Okay, NRO itself is $1 million. NRE లో కూడా మీ డబ్బులు అంటే మీరు పంపించిన డబ్బులు మీరు can get back at any time. No limits.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Sounds good. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay. Next one, I see Sharat. I hope it's on. Sharat?
Yes, hi. You can hear me, right?
Yes, yes, Sharath.
Okay. Yeah. Hi, Anil. As I mentioned on the chat, so thank you very much for taking time. I know you are in Philadelphia and getting ready for the conference and all that. So thank you to you, and as well as thanks to TTA for organizing such a great session. First question, when are you coming back?
Yeah, okay, tomorrow night.
Okay, so we'll be missing you tomorrow at Bonalu function then.
Yes, I'm missing. My parents,
Okay.
my family would be attending, but I am missing. Yes, yeah.
All right. Yeah, I'll definitely like to meet with you and discuss some scenarios in person. I understand.
Sure.
But there's a generic question. So there is a property. It's I'm hypothetical question, right? So there's a property. You're not selling it, but you're giving a GPA to somebody, right? And they paid you some money, right? And we don't know, we don't care what they do it after that, right? No, you got your money. They have the GPA for the property. They could sell it, whatever they wanted to do.
It's a
But would
power
that
of
be
attorney.
yeah, power of attorney,
Correct. Yeah. Okay.
right? So in that case, is it considered as a sale?
No, kada. Ippudu ante power of attorney is just they are selling on your name ante, but you own the title. So
Okay, the title is still with us.
whenever you sell, whenever while ammita, that is considered as you are selling it.
Why would someone pay
Okay.
you, Sharath, if you do a GPA? GPA is just giving them authority to sell the property.
Right. Correct.
And they can sell it to anyone, right? So it's, let's say
Sell
from our
చేసినది
hands.
ఇస్తారు డబ్బులు. సెల్ చేసినది డబ్బులు ఇస్తారు మీకు. Yes.
Okay.
అంటే
Fine.
మీరు ఇండియా వెళ్ళకుండానే వాళ్ళు సేల్ చేయడానికి మీరు అసలు ఇండియా వెళ్ళలేరు కాబట్టి ఇచ్చారు అంతే. అంత తప్ప
Right. So వాళ్ళు అలా ఇచ్చినందుకు వాళ్ళు మనకు డబ్బులు పే చేశారు అనుకోండి. That is not considered a sale at the moment, right? There is no transaction happening.
లేదండి. I think something we are missing here. GPA is the power of attorney. Like example, నా ప్రాపర్టీస్ ఉన్న ఇండియాలోని మా పేరెంట్స్ GPA అంతే. సో ది పవర్ ఆఫ్ అటార్నీ, దే కెన్ రిప్రజెంట్ మీ. అంతేగాని GPA ఇస్తే వాళ్ళకి ఐ డోంట్ నో వాట్ ఈస్ ద లాజిక్ బిహైండ్ గివింగ్ ద మనీ. మా ఫాదర్ నాకు డబ్బులు ఏమి ఇవ్వరు కదా, అమ్మితే ఇస్తారు.
Okay, fine. Yeah, so basically GPA is
only power of attorney to sell or to do the transaction on behalf of us.
On our behalf.
So technical Indian rules ప్రకారంగా మనం వెళ్ళాలి సేల్ కి. సో వెళ్ళకుండానే you can write a power of attorney and they can do it for you. అంతే.
Got it. Okay, and when they sell it, does that can go, the amount could go to any account, right?
ఎక్కడికి వెళ్ళినా సరే మీ టైటిల్ ఎమ్మినట్లు కాబట్టి మీ కేటగిరీలోనే వస్తుంది.
Okay.
Example.
And there is a last question from Prakash.
Yes, sure. Yeah, thanks. And ఇది నాకు మా ఫాదర్ కి we have a joint savings account, Indian account ఉంది. సో ఇప్పుడు దాంట్లో 10,000 కంటే ఎక్కువ ఉంటే మనీ, do I need to report it here?
Yes, you have a financial interest on that. Yes.
Oh, okay, got it. Okay, thank you.
Okay, yeah.
So hope that answered all the questions, and we covered all the FB and all other questions, Anil Garu. So there are many appreciations, and I could see some people asking for your next sessions, and somebody was asking like, is it a live session from convention that you're doing?
It's not live. Sorry, it's an in-person.
It's an in-person. So people would be glad to meet you in person. And so thing is, it's a great session, Anil Garu, I would say. And thing is, I would like to thank my leadership team for bringing this wonderful session. And we would like to extend our sincere gratitude for taking your time out of the busy day. Being at a convention is highly appreciated. And I think I would like to thank each and everyone who attended this session, and hope like you have found this session informative, and we could see that like the passion and the dedication what Anil Garu carries is reflecting in his session, and we expect more such sessions from you, Anil Garu. And before we conclude, like I would like Manohar Garu to talk few words on this.
Thank you, Keshav. First of all, thank you very much, Anil Garu. Always your sessions are very popular, and we have been seeing people still waiting to ask more questions. Let's not disappoint them. We will coming up with another session probably in a couple of weeks. And please join these sessions. This is for all audience. You can get a chance to talk to Anil Garu on live. And as a TTA Seattle, we are proud that Anil Garu is from our own city, and he is a great supporter for all TTA events. And as always, thank you, Anil Garu. We will arrange one more session. Probably Keshav will talk to you.
Sure.
And for all audience, thank you very much. Yeah, please see, TTA conduct several such events, and you can be part of those good causes by taking a TTA membership. And we will be posting a TTA membership link in the chat. Please consider taking it and supporting all these good causes, which helps our community in growing financially or increasing the network in various ways. And thank you very much. And thank you, and Madhu, Deepika, and all the team who is behind this session. It's executed wonderfully. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Manohar bhai. And echoing what Manohar and Keshav has already said, thank you, Anil Garu. This is a wonderful session. I think there are so many people who will be reaching out to you for offline questions, and I'll be one of the person. I have like a lot of questions I want you to help and answer me. Thank you, Andy.
Thank you, Madhu, Manohar, and everyone. Thank you for joining this session.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you very much. Thanks, Manohar. Thanks, Keshav, and thanks, Madhu, for coordinating. And thanks to TTA organization. And thanks, my special thanks to the TTA president. And Vamshi is here with me. So, but anyway, so I'm meeting him again in next 5 minutes. Yeah, okay. Thank you.
Definitely. And it's my pleasure.